married to an older woman. On the first night, he sat alone and watched this video for 5 consecutive times. Usually on the night of marriage, the groom rushes to his room. The desire to see his bride-to-be and spend beautiful moments with her makes him restless. But in my case something was opposite. I was standing at the door of my own room for the last 2 hours. But for some reason, I didn't want to step inside my room at all. And the reason was none other than my own wife. The wife whom I had angered my parents to marry and married her forgetting everything. Now I was thinking 100 times before going to him. How many moments I spent standing at the door like this. My wife and few servants were in this big bungalow. All the servants had gone to the quarters and now I was hesitating to go to my wife. I was a young man of 25 years and the woman I married was 40 years old. That was the reason why my steps stopped at the door. I took a look at the entire bungalow that was given to me in Saudi. Moreover, if I had spent a few days with this woman, I could have gotten a lot more. Thinking this, I opened the door of the room and entered inside. There were no emotions in my heart about that night. This marriage was just a deal that I made for my mustikbil. I am sitting on the bed. Seeing wife Syra made me laugh. At the age of 40, she was sitting shyly like a brand new bride wearing a red pear. I took a look at him and slowly took a step and sat next to him. I was sure that she would get me down on sleep aids in no time because at this age, sleep comes on its own and then she used some drugs too. I myself saw him taking medicine many times. He must have had some disease. Seeing me she smiled and said Akil is too late to come to the room. Since when was she waiting for you? Hearing this made me laugh. He was not kept waiting for me for 2 hours. She could spend moments of love with me. I don't know why he was interested in marriage at this age. Maybe it was my luck. He had asked me to marry him and now my luck was about to change. I took out a gift of Mung Patsi and put it in her hand, then she looked at her bracelet with great joy. She was a woman wearing gold and diamonds. Said I had brought him a cheap bracelet of 2,000. I wanted to tell him my status. But there was a different joy on his face, as if he had found a treasure. She quickly put the bracelets on her wrists and then pulled out something from the side table drawer and held it out to me. The thing in the black envelope was not visible. He held the envelope in my hand and said, "This is a gift for you. Don't worry about my happiness," after holding the envelope. On the wedding night, my bride gave me a gift and the bride was also the owner of crores of rupees. Surely the gift was going to be very precious. I was smiling thinking about this. Before opening the envelope, many things came to my mind that maybe it was a car key or something. Business papers. I was doing such a thing with such a rich wife. But as soon as I opened the envelope, my eyes widened in surprise. I could not believe my eyes. When I looked at my wife, the smile on her face told me something. How could this be? In bewilderment, I handed the envelope back to him. So she started saying, "This is our wedding night gift and you have to accept it." I was shaking my head in denial. She looked at me and started laughing and said, "If you don't listen to me then you will have to suffer a lot. You know on what chariot this marriage took place. Therefore, you must accept this gift." The world started spinning before my eyes. I can't imagine that a woman would be so clever and play such a big game with me. I had no idea what she wanted to do while accepting the conditions she had written in the marriage, and when I realized it was too late. I had no way back. I could not even go and free myself because I myself had knocked over his paper, on which my wife had written a strange type of chariot, and now I understood them. My wife again handed the envelope to me and said quietly, "Do what I want." And I was forced to agree with him. Actually that thing is my masculine name is Akil. I belong to a poor family. I was just 22 years old and looking for a shortcut. Some way to make me rich overnight. I used to have so much money that I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to work hard and I wanted to become a millionaire overnight without working hard. Whoever heard this, laughed at me. My father never stopped teasing me. He will eat my earnings all my life. Even in my old age, I am not getting happiness from my children. On the birth of my son, I thought that he will become my support when he grows up. But better than you is my daughter, who helps me by sewing while sitting at home. And after hearing Abba's words, I used to leave the house in anger. Even being so old, Abba used to pull the cart every day and was in the afternoon. Abba, who used to sell samosas, would stand outside the market till 9 p.m. I didn't want to do a job that didn't have much money or respect. This was the thing because of which my father used to be angry with me. They used to say that you have not even studied. Which officer job will you get? It seems that a government job is waiting for you. After listening to Abba, I said, "See, one day I will change my destiny. Yours and yours too." And Abba would fold his hands in front of me and say that we should not change such a fate. Those who do wrong things get rich overnight. Those who do the right thing earn halal and eat dry food. They add money by saving and then they become rich. I used to laugh listening to Abba's words, because the way Abba used to tell me, my whole life would go away, but none of my wishes would be fulfilled. Abba himself has been doing this all his life. 6 minutes and 42 seconds, but which of us had become rich or had our circumstances changed? From my childhood till now, I had seen that Abba's halal earnings would fulfill the needs but the desires would remain unfulfilled and I was drowned in the sea of desires and I had to reach for the stars. One day I left the house after a lot of fighting with Abba. He sat on the road leading to the city. Abba told me many things. He said that now the sister's marriage is going to take place. You also put some share in the expenses of the house so that the money can be saved for the marriage, and I got angry after hearing this from Abba. My sister was Abba's responsibility, not mine. I was picking up a stone and throwing it on the road when a big black car passed in front of me very fast. And I thought in my heart, I wish this car was mine, then I would go to the city by sitting on it. Maybe it was confession time because the car came back after a while and stopped in front of me. I kissed and started looking in that car. The black glass came down and a woman peered through. And saw me and beckoned me to her. I went to him without thinking. So it seems that you are sitting to go to the city. If the bus is not coming, come with me, I will deliver. I really wanted to go to the city. But I neither had money to go to the city nor did I know what I would do there. I just wanted to change my luck overnight. Seeing me in thought, she said sit down. He opened the door. I sat down on the imaginary seat in silence. He was sitting on the front seat wearing a driver's uniform. His eyes were on the road. At the behest of that woman, the driver started driving the car and our destination was towards the city. I shook my head in denial, then she asked why are you going to the city? I told him that I am. I want to change my luck and am going to town to try my luck. She started saying if this is the case, then get a job with me for a few days. I need a good person who can keep an eye on all the servants. I was shocked to hear that woman's words. She was totally wrong for me. I was unknown to him. Then how she was offering a job in her bungalow. I was getting so much comfort in his big car that I started thinking how much comfort it would be in his bungalow and then I would be able to live in such a big bungalow. He told me that I will have no shortage of food and drink. She was offering me a huge sum of money as a dowry. I had no room for refusal at the moment because what he said was not a job. All the work in the bungalow was to be done by the servants and I only had to keep an eye on them. I agreed and accompanied him to his bungalow. He was surprised to see the luxurious bungalow. She lived alone in that bungalow. She told that her husband passed away years ago. There were no children either so she was lonely. He had an import-export business. So she used to monitor her own business. She stayed out of business all night and slept all day. So the house was in the hands of servants and he needed a responsible person to look after the servants. I started working at his bungalow. I was very happy. Here I had all the comforts of life. Even the car key was found. I could go wherever I wanted in the mistress's carriage because she used to sleep all day and when she put the salary in my hand for the first month, I took permission from the mistress and went home in her car. Amma hugged me as soon as she saw me. She cried a lot and started saying where did you go? Abba's words were taken so badly that we left everything behind.
Your Vater keeps crying in your memory.
We were all very worried about you.
Hypocrite.
He took out the envelope and put it in Amma's hand and said that he had gone to contribute to his sister's marriage. I have got a job in the city. This is my first salary and I have come in a car provided by the job. When I showed Amma the big car outside, Amma's eyes widened with surprise and then she happily called me and said I knew my child would be successful one day. However, when Abba returned home for lunch, he was happy to see me. But at the same time, my car and earnings surprised them. Instead of being happy, a look of worry appeared on his face and he said, "Son, what kind of job have you got that has such a high salary, you haven't even read and written it?" He got up angrily and said to Amma that whatever I do, Abba cannot be happy. I had brought money to contribute my share in my sister's marriage. But Abba got worried about my job.
I left to return.
My mother kept giving me voices.
My heart was broken.
My father was not happy with my progress. When I got back to the city bungalow, I was shocked because there were so many girls sitting in the drawing room. My mistress treated them very well and prepared many dishes for them. I went into the drawing room to tell the mistress that I was back. Seeing me, the mistress's face was happy as if she was waiting for me. All those girls were also looking at me with great interest. Among so many girls I felt something strange. I immediately came back out and asked the employee working in Barkakana. Who are all these girls? So the employee looked at me very carefully and said that you don't know. I said, do you know who all this is? She started saying in a strange way. Then it will be known in a few days. It was only 2 days after that that the mistress called me to her room and said, Akil, I want to talk to you. Actually, I like you. That day on the street, you liked me at first sight. That's why I came to you and I got to know you in a month. You have a very good nature. Maybe your family members don't appreciate you because you returned from your home very sad that day. I want to change your life and fulfill every deficiency in your life. I was listening to the mistress in silence. At this last sentence, I looked at my mistress in surprise, and then my mistress said something that I had never expected. She started saying, I want to marry you. I want to ride your mustik bill. I will make this house in your name on marriage. I have no one in my life. How long will I be lonely like this? Now I am about to die, and I want to spend some happy days before I die. Hearing the talk of marriage from the mouth of a 40-year-old woman, while I was upset, she surprised me that she was ready to give such a big bungalow in my name. I couldn't believe it. Perhaps my mistress had gone mad, or in her old age, she wanted a young man with her. I thought for a long time. So the mistress started saying, if you want to refuse then you can, but also your job is over because I gave you this job so that I can see you. I was getting lakhs of rupees per month. A bungalow like a luxurious palace to live in. I did not want to stumble on this job in any way, and I wanted to become its owner so much, so I refused. There was no scope. I immediately said to the mistress that it is fine, I have no objection to the marriage because I am alone just like you have no one with you. Hearing this, the mistress was happy and she asked for marriage the next day, but before the nikah, she put the slip on the mistress in front of me and said that this is some shariat that you have to follow before the marriage. At first I was nervous. I don't know what the mistress wants to do with me. But after reading that shariat, I did not understand anything special. All were strange things. They had no special meaning. Therefore, I did not feel any harm in obeying shariat. I got married to the mistress, accepting all the shariats, and was overjoyed to think that now I have become the owner of this luxurious bungalow. How many days could this 40-year-old woman be alive? She was a guest for a few days. After that it would all be mine. Its business would also be in my share. I was thinking and doing some business that had a lot of money because I saw money playing. But on the night of marriage, the reality of me and my wife was revealed to me and I understood the meaning of all the shariat which I was unaware of before. The envelope my wife gave me on the wedding night contained a male enhancement pill. There was a piece of paper with an address written on it, and it was also written that tonight was to be spent with this boy. This is totally worth trying. A photo of a girl was also present in the envelope. I had never seen that girl before. And then I remembered focusing on the mind. This girl was present among these girls who sat with the mistress on this day. I understood a lot. So I looked at my wife from Bikini and she smiled. There was no way I could do this. So I refused, then my wife gave me shariat. Reminded of according to those shariat, if I were to divorce the mistress, I would have to pay 20 lakhs to the mistress. If the mistress had any complaint against my caste, she could have lodged a complaint with the police and could have recovered the damages from me. If I refused to obey the mistress, she could transfer the house back to my name. He did not call me home. My mistress forced me that she would blame me if I didn't approach this girl and please her. I have tried to kill them and they will send me to jail. I will not only go through all their features but I will spend my whole life behind the bars of the prison. I was so badly stuck that I had no way out. I was forced to take that medicine, which would probably cause a lot of damage to my body. The owner's driver himself took me to her house. Not wanting the mistress to be here, I spent the whole night with her girl because my wife had made a deal with me and that was her business. Mistresses used to lure beautiful and young boys into their nets and then deal with unknown boys to fulfill the hobbies of the Emirzadis. Apart from this, the mistress had no business. Every night she used to go to the parties of big and rich people and there she would make deals according to the wishes of the girls. I had been hearing about female genital mutilation for many years. But I didn't know that in today's age men's bodies are also sold and I was caught in the trap of such a disgusting woman who was using me as a pawn in this business. Now I understood why I was paid so much for such a trivial job. It first trapped me well and now continues to take advantage of me. I married her thinking that no one would die soon. I will get all that. But it turned out to be just my imagination, as she was not even that old of a 40-year-old woman who looked much older than her age due to her dark deeds. It was too soon. I did not get anything because after making a deal with me, she kept all the money herself. The working servant knew because every day the owner would bring boys like me here and marry them. For 2 months I used this every night. All my strength was gone.
My body started to ache.
If I told this to the mistress, Majid would give me medicine to eat.
I was fed up with life.
My days were passing into the night.
And the feeling was killing me.
I definitely wanted to make money with shortcuts. But he did not want to get into the mire of crimes like this. One day I got a chance and quietly reached back to my house without telling my mistress. Mistress had not seen my house. She took me from the road. So I was sure that she would not be able to reach the crude house from my small area. I told my parents the whole truth. Hearing this, both of them cried a lot and started saying I had already forbidden you. But you didn't understand me.
Work hard and earn halal. That is success.
Today, I work with my father on a cart of samosas. Allah has placed so much blessing in our work that we fulfill our duty by earning halal sustenance. I just want to say to all the youth that do not get into the quagmire of crimes in the shortcut circles, because this shortcut only leads us to the path of destruction.